Morning is sacred. It holds a promise of renewal, a fresh page on which you can rewrite your story. Before your eyes swipe endless notifications, before voices tug at your attention, there is a moment of calm in dawn's hush. It's here that gratitude can reveal its life-changing power. Gratitude isn't just a polite thank you. It's an anchor that roots your mind in abundance rather than lack. When you begin the day with gratitude, you set the tone for everything that follows. You shift from rush to reflection, from stress to strength. You declare, today matters, this moment matters, and I am here for it. As your eyelids flutter open, the breath you take is proof of life. The beating of your heart is reminder of resilience. Instead of scrolling news or emails, take a moment to say silently, I am alive. I am more. I am enough. That acknowledgement is a spark, lighting the most important muscle you possess, your mindset. Before you chase productivity, think about possibility. Before you seek results, hold space for appreciation. In that space, your energy realigns with purpose. You're not hustling on autopilot. You're choosing to rise on intention. Consider the cat's purr or the tea's warmth, the soft sunlight filtering in, or the gentle silence before the day begins. These small gifts are everywhere, waiting to be seen. Gratitude trains your eyes to look upward, to notice instead of numb. When you rise each morning and anchor on what's working, you shift your perception. A day that could feel heavy becomes light. A to-do list that could feel endless becomes achievable. The simple act of recognition transforms stress into structure, overwhelm into opportunity. Expressing gratitude reminds you of connection, not just to yourself, but to the world and its people. Maybe someone made you coffee, smiled as you passed, or simply listened yesterday. These moments matter more than the highlight reels. They matter because they confirm you belong. You are supported. You are seen. When you live anchored in gratitude, you don't walk alone. You carry love, kindness, community in your footsteps each day. You become part of something larger, and that fuels your ambition with purpose. The ripple effect of gratitude extends beyond emotions. It rewires your brain. Neuroscience tells us that positive focus boosts creativity, resilience, and well-being. When you set your morning's foundation with gratitude, you prime your mind to notice possibilities instead of problems. You start wiring in hope instead of fear. Your brain begins to seek solutions, not loop on stress. You become problem seekers of opportunity, not overwhelmed by obstacles. And that opens doors you didn't even know were there. Even before your feet touch the floor, you can visualize your day unfolding with intention. Imagine completing that project, having that powerful conversation, nourishing your body, connecting with loved ones. Thank the energy of discipline and the spark of inspiration that course through your veins. Each acknowledgement of growth invites gratitude for what's emerging. You create momentum before you begin, forging a path of abundance that carries you forward. Gratitude does not ignore struggle, it reframes it. It helps you notice not only what feels wrong, but also what's still working. When challenges appear, gratitude reminds you of previous victories, inner resources, people who supported you. It prevents discouragement from defining you. Instead of saying, I'm overwhelmed, you say quietly, I appreciate strength to meet this day's demand. That shift is subtle but seismic. It turns coping into confidence. This daily practice of morning gratitude is a weapon against negativity. When your mind begins whispering doubts about traffic, emails, or failure, you counter with truths. My effort matters. My future matters. I am building. I am evolving. These are not mere affirmations. They are acknowledgments of reality. Every choice you make today echoes in tomorrow's story, and you start that echo by noticing your breath, your heartbeat, the world turning outside your window. Structure your gratitude by naming at least 3 things each morning. They can be physical, like the comfort of your blankets, the aroma of coffee, the softness of air, or emotional, like someone's love, your own tenacity, a vision that inspires you. Writing them down creates momentum. It shifts your brain's reticular activating system to focus what follows. Suddenly, the day adjusts to the lens you've woven through your gratitude. Small acts become more meaningful, conversations gentler, decisions clearer. Gratitude doesn't cost anything, but it yields everything. The cost is mindful attention. The yield is unparalleled reward. That gentle ecosystem of appreciation changes your biology, boosts your performance, fills your spirit. And those who harness that power early each day discover that life becomes not just manageable, but magical. Each sunrise becomes an invitation to rise above yesterday, to create something new, to share your light. As you step into your morning routine, carry gratitude into movement. Feel your muscles working as you stretch. Feel your lungs fill as you breathe. Every sensation is a gift. You awaken your body, and with it, amplify your mind's presence. This synergy primes your whole system for the day's demands, physically challenging or mentally stressful. When effort meets gratitude, you don't just push yourself, you bless your ability to push. You honor the vessel carrying your purpose forward. For students who rise early to study, gratitude reminds them they aren't just chasing grades, they're growing in wisdom. For entrepreneurs launching new projects at dawn, gratitude connects them to the impact waiting in communities. For creators waking to write, gratitude attaches their words to the inspiration within and around them. Gratitude turns routine into ritual and tasks into testimonies of growth. It reveals that purpose is not just what you do, but how you choose to do it. When you begin the day anchored in gratitude, emotions remain steadier. You don't become clipped when traffic snarls or schedules shift. Instead, you return to calm with a single breath and a single thought. In this moment, I'm grateful that I can adapt. That thought becomes a shield. It softens the shock of life and returns your mind to center. Gratitude built in the morning becomes gratitude lived all day, even when circumstances wobble. This mindset also spreads like wildfire. When you smile at a coworker, they feel your calm. When you handle stress with grace, they learn respect. When you speak with appreciation, people respond with openness. You become a wellness magnet, attracting cooperation, kindness, trust. And those interactions uplift the entire environment, including your own experience. Gratitude isn't self-centered. It nurtures interdependence and mutual growth. There will be mornings when dark clouds drape the sky or your mind feels heavy. That's when gratitude becomes armor. Notice that you still have senses to perceive the beauty in grayness. Notice you still have hands capable of work. Notice even the struggle becomes proof of will within you. Every challenge sharpened by gratitude becomes evidence of your strength, not of your weakness. That perspective changes your horizon entirely. Gratitude in the morning helps you process the previous day. Mistakes become lessons, not lingering wounds. Late nights become sources of stamina proof. Challenges become proof of your courage to engage life. When thanks enters your reflections, shame dissolves and you begin again. You make space for hope and humility instead of regret. You frame your day as a tender reset, waiting for your commitment, not as a script doomed to repeat the past. When nights are long or your spirit low, morning gratitude becomes your torch. You remember you're not defined by one day or week. You remember each sunrise is a monumental gift. Each one offers redemption, progress, transformation. You hold on to the fact that permission to perform was never issued. You earned it by simply deciding to breathe deeply, set foot on the floor, and honor what's possible. That becomes a celebration in itself. Your relationships deepen when you start mornings by noticing people. A silent thank you to a partner, a text to a friend, a compassionate breath for your own heart. These kindnesses weave intimacy. They reinforce that gratitude isn't passive, it's expressive. It's action with feeling, word with warmth. And when people feel valued, they give back generosity, suiting your spirit as you continue to send it outward. That cycle of care pays dividends far beyond gratitude's origin. As you move toward goals on challenging mornings, gratitude roots you in progress rather than perfection. You see what worked yesterday, not just what went wrong. You acknowledge that strength endures even if speed slowed. You remind yourself that the process matters more than the product. Goals do not demand constant perfection. They demand persistent practice. And gratitude ensures the journey becomes sustainable, enjoyable, and meaningful. When opportunity presents, but arrives clumsily, you'll handle it with appreciation rather than anxiety. You see the possibilities more than the pressure. You manage stress by remembering how far you've come. You assess situations through curiosity, not fear. That mindset becomes magnetic. Instead of reacting to discomfort, you lean gently into nuance and flow. The world flows with those who acknowledge its grace. And nobody flows better than someone who begins each day with reverence. Morning gratitude also sharpens clarity. When your first thought is appreciation, you align with your core values before chaos knocks. Before tasks distract, you anchor on what matters: integrity, growth, connection. That alignment filters noise, makes priorities visible, and lets your discipline flow through lens of significance. You're not working harder, you're working wiser, and actions taken from that point build momentum that resists distraction. Your journey extends beyond days. This morning habit compounds into a lifetime orientation. Every sunrise accumulates deposits in well-being, resilience, creativity, contentment. You become someone who, over years, has built a life of richness, not riches. You learn abundance. And that way of seeing rewires not just perspective, but outcomes. Because people with gratitude mindset don't settle. They celebrate before, during, and after achievement. They know fulfillment was never downstream, it was always there, waiting in the dawn. Every single morning is a brand new canvas, waiting for the brush of your attitude to paint something beautiful. Gratitude is the palette that adds vibrancy to each stroke. It helps you wake not with pressure, but with perspective. You don't rise because you have to. You rise because you get to. That subtle difference rewires your entire emotional compass, from dread to drive, from panic to power, from exhaustion to appreciation. Each day becomes a doorway, not a deadline. Gratitude in the morning becomes the heartbeat of your routine. It allows you to take control of the narrative before the world imposes one on you. Instead of letting external factors dictate your mood, you rise with your own emotional thermostat. You decide how to feel. You choose how to respond. You commit to start from a place of strength rather than scarcity. That choice is power, and it becomes a habit that builds the future you desire. As the sun climbs slowly over the horizon, it brings more than light. It brings awareness. You become conscious of your power to shape the day. And when that awareness is filtered through gratitude, you begin to notice what you might have overlooked. The roof over your head, the fact you woke up pain-free, the people in your life who believe in you. These details aren't small, they're sacred. Gratitude uncovers the sacredness in the ordinary, reminding you that nothing is guaranteed and everything can be appreciated. The mindset you carry in the morning determines the energy you radiate throughout the day. Gratitude raises your vibration. It attracts better conversations, deeper focus, calmer responses. It lets you approach your responsibilities not as burdens, but as blessings. You don't have to go to work. You get to contribute. You don't have to study. You get to learn. That shift creates joy in the doing. And joy is the secret fuel behind long-term greatness. Every morning you stand at the edge of possibility. What you do next creates the architecture of your life. Do you rush and react? Or do you pause and prepare? Do you complain? Or do you commit? Gratitude helps you choose wisely. It filters chaos through calm. It lets you walk into pressure with presence. It reminds you that your peace isn't earned by finishing your tasks. It's created by how you start them. And when you begin with gratitude, the chaos shrinks while your clarity grows. Your goals become more sustainable when gratitude fuels your ambition. It removes desperation and replaces it with determination. Instead of chasing validation, you work from inspiration. You don't grind to prove others wrong. You rise to prove yourself right. Gratitude becomes the antidote to burnout because it keeps your efforts rooted in meaning. When you appreciate the opportunity to work, to move, to impact, fatigue turns into fulfillment. Gratitude in the morning also opens the gateway to confidence. You stop doubting your path when you start appreciating your progress. You see how far you've come, not just how far you have to go. You remember moments when you felt stuck, yet kept going. And that memory becomes your proof. Proof that you are resilient, that you are capable, that you are already walking in the success you used to wish for. That recognition turns insecurity into self-trust. When you cultivate this kind of awareness, mornings become less about productivity and more about presence. It's not about how much you can do by 9 a.m. It's about who you are becoming as you do it. Gratitude makes you intentional. You start checking in with your spirit before checking emails. You breathe deeply before rushing. You move slowly before speeding up. That rhythm allows you to live in alignment, not in anxiety. For anyone battling self-doubt or pressure, gratitude is your reset button. It helps you step away from comparison. Instead of measuring your worth against someone else's chapter, you start loving the page you're on. You see the beauty in your timing, the purpose in your path, the gift in your challenges. You realize that your journey is not behind, it's unfolding, perfectly paced. Gratitude lets you honor where you are while still reaching for more. Every win starts with a mindset that believes it is already blessed. You can't grow fruit in soil poisoned by negativity. Gratitude detoxes the mind. It removes bitterness, it clears envy, it shuts down excuses, and in its place it plants the seeds of self-respect, optimism, and hunger. You don't grow from what you achieve. You grow from what you appreciate, and what you appreciate appreciates. That's the law of abundance. Your emotional state affects your decisions more than you know. When your mind is clouded with fear or frustration, your choices become reactive. But when your mind is anchored in gratitude, your decisions become wise. You listen better. You think clearer. You lead stronger. You don't panic when things go wrong. You pivot with poise. That resilience is born in the quiet gratitude of the early hours, not in the noise of crisis. Gratitude also makes space for forgiveness. When you rise with love in your heart, it's harder to carry the weight of resentment. You don't forget what happened, but you choose not to let it define your day. You release what no longer serves you because you are too focused on what nourishes you. That emotional decluttering creates space for joy, peace, and new relationships. And mornings become the fertile ground where that emotional healing takes root. Your energy attracts outcomes. And when your energy is built on gratitude, you magnetize opportunities. People feel drawn to your presence, not because you're loud, but because you're grounded. You speak with warmth. You move with purpose. You lead with humility. Gratitude strips away ego and replaces it with authenticity. And that authenticity is your competitive edge in a world starved for realness. The pace of life often tries to rush you out of peace and into panic. Gratitude refuses to let that happen. It says, slow down. Notice this moment. This is where your power lives. That present awareness unlocks creativity. It frees up mental space. You start solving problems in new ways. You don't just survive challenges, you innovate through them. And that edge comes from a calm mind rooted in a grateful heart. Every great achiever, from artists to athletes to entrepreneurs, understands the power of morning discipline. But discipline without gratitude is a burden. Gratitude makes discipline joyful. It's easier to rise early when you're excited about what the day holds. It's easier to practice habits when you appreciate their impact. You don't just check boxes, you connect with purpose. And that emotional connection keeps the fire alive when motivation fades. When life feels uncertain, gratitude brings stability. You might not control the economy or the weather, but you can always control your awareness. You can always decide to see what's working. You can always choose to feel hope. That autonomy is where true freedom begins. Gratitude teaches you that you are not powerless. You are powerful, because you can always choose how to perceive. And perception creates reality. You are not here to simply react to life. You are here to create it. And creation begins in the mind. The thoughts you plant each morning are the crops you harvest each night. If you want peace, plant gratitude. If you want growth, plant appreciation. If you want love, start with thanks. Your reality is a reflection of what you consistently honor, and the world bends toward those who walk in grace. Gratitude also helps you appreciate your own uniqueness. You stop seeing your quirks as flaws and start seeing them as gifts. You recognize that you weren't meant to be like anyone else, that your pace, your voice, your story, it all matters. And when you appreciate your individuality, you unlock your true potential. You stop copying and start creating. You stop competing and start innovating. When your first thoughts in the morning are thank you, your last thoughts at night become well done. You feel complete because you began with the right frame of mind. Even if the day brought chaos, you had control. Even if problems emerged, you faced them with presence. Even if mistakes happened, you moved through them with meaning. Gratitude doesn't guarantee a perfect day, but it guarantees a powerful one. You are not what happened to you yesterday. You are what you choose to believe today. And if you believe that every breath is a gift, every person a teacher, every trial a test, then you will walk through your life with strength that others don't understand. They'll ask how you stay so grounded, how you remain so calm, how you keep showing up. And the answer will be simple. I start each day with gratitude. Gratitude builds emotional wealth. It makes you rich in peace, rich in awareness, rich in perspective. Even before success arrives, gratitude helps you feel abundant. And that energy becomes a magnet. You stop chasing things to make you happy. You become happy. And things start chasing you. That's the secret. Gratitude isn't passive. It's a superpower. As you rise tomorrow morning, remember that the world doesn't need more noise. It needs more presence, more leaders who act with love, more dreamers who walk in humility, more doers who build from a place of contentment, not desperation. You become one of them when you let gratitude lead your morning, not your phone, not your calendar, not your fear, but your heart, your awareness, your soul. You were not given this day by accident. There is something within it waiting for you to notice. Some person waiting to be lifted. Some solution waiting to be discovered. Some peace waiting to be found. And it all begins not with urgency, but with acknowledgement. Not with pressure, but with presence. Gratitude is the gateway. And when you walk through it, you step into a version of yourself that the world needs now more than ever. Each new morning is not just the beginning of another routine. It is a divine opportunity to recalibrate your spirit, reset your intentions, and renew your commitment to live with depth, passion, and purpose. When you start your day with gratitude, you are essentially telling the universe, I'm ready to receive. I'm open to the blessings. I am present, and I will not take this day for granted. And this kind of mindset is not just empowering, it's transformational. It sets you apart from the majority who wake up reacting instead of creating. As you stretch into the day, let your first thoughts be rooted not in your to-do list, but in your to-be list. Who will you be today? Will you be kind in the face of rudeness? Will you be focused when distractions pull at your time? Will you be disciplined even when comfort tempts you? Starting the day with gratitude sharpens these answers. It doesn't just wake up your body, it awakens your character. And character is what determines your destiny. You are not here to live on autopilot. You are here to rise with intention. When you begin with a grateful heart, you begin in alignment with your highest self. You don't need external motivation because gratitude becomes your internal engine. It's not about hyping yourself up, it's about calming yourself down. You're not scrambling to chase time. You're harnessing the moment, and in that stillness, you gain an edge most people never even see. Morning gratitude reminds you of your power to create joy, no matter what yesterday looked like. You might have faced rejection, disappointment, loss, or stress. But this morning offers you another shot, another breath, another step forward. And when you say thank you for that opportunity, you claim it with boldness. You are no longer a victim of circumstances. You are a visionary of your own life. That shift happens the moment you open your eyes and choose to see the good. Gratitude is a muscle, and mornings are your training ground. Each day, when you flex that muscle by noticing even one thing you're thankful for, it becomes stronger. Soon you'll start spotting positivity in places others overlook. You'll find reasons to smile when others frown. You'll see hope where others see hopelessness. Because your vision will have been upgraded by the power of appreciation. You won't just see life, you'll truly witness it. Your potential expands when your heart is grounded in thanks. You stop being ruled by fear because you're too focused on what's already working. You stop complaining about what you lack because you're too busy using what you have. And suddenly, life starts flowing in your favor. Not because circumstances magically change, but because your energy becomes magnetic. Gratitude shifts your frequency from scarcity to sufficiency, from anxiety to assurance. In the silence of the morning, when it's just you and your breath, you have the greatest opportunity to set the emotional tone for everything that follows. Will you choose chaos or calm, fear or faith, doubt or determination? Gratitude clears the emotional fog and brings clarity to the soul. It tells your brain to stop scanning for threats and start scanning for possibilities. That's not just spiritual, that's science. And what does this do for your work? Everything. When you walk into your responsibilities with a grateful heart, your performance transforms. You serve with joy instead of obligation. You create from inspiration, not desperation. You lead with humility instead of arrogance. You stop competing for validation and start contributing with authenticity. Gratitude doesn't just make you better, it makes your results undeniable. In relationships too, gratitude is the glue that holds connection together. When you wake up appreciating your loved ones, your tone changes. You become more patient, more understanding, more present. You listen instead of lecture. You uplift instead of criticize. Gratitude reminds you that love isn't just a feeling, it's a decision you make every morning. A decision to value, to cherish, to see the best in others even when it's easier to focus on flaws. The ripple effect of your morning mindset is bigger than you realize. Your energy becomes contagious. When you show up grounded and grateful, you give others permission to do the same. You become a walking reminder that peace is possible, that stress isn't required, that success and serenity can coexist. And in a world addicted to noise, armor without hardening your heart. No obstacle has the power to unstoppable. Not knocked down, but because you always rise with to see the purpose in it all. Maybe the delay saved you from burnout. Maybe the failure taught you humility. Maybe the rejection redirected you to something better. Gratitude doesn't ask everything. It comes from what you already have. From recognizing that this moment, no matter how ordinary, holds something extraordinary if you're willing to see it. That cup of coffee, that ray of sunlight, that message from a friend. These aren't background details, they are the essence of life. And the more you thank them, the more life gives you to be thankful for. This is not about ignoring problems or pretending life is perfect. Gratitude is not delusion. It's discipline. The discipline to look beyond the obvious and see the value in the unseen. To train your mind to focus on what lifts you instead of what limits you. To hold space for both ambition and appreciation. That true fulfillment lives. Gratitude compass. When things go wrong, it reminds you right. When people